Good evening. What you're about to see this evening is a collection of Amazon reviews from the sugar-free Gummy Bear collection. The reviews are real. The people are real. I would like to remind you to turn off your cell phones and that recording during the performance is prohibited. Please enjoy.
Like Distant Thunder by JP, March 18th, 2018. It all started at 6 in the morning. The night before, one of my hunting buddies had bought these without noticing that they were sugar free. That's what it says. It's one of those guys who's always reading about the effects of food and dieting and stuff, and refused to eat them, claiming they would make you gain weight. I know. I'm doing the best with what I'm working with, right? So he gave them to me. I was out in the deer woods, far from town, far from any toilet. If I could go back in time, I would have ran my friend over, or made sure my parents had never met. Because after just 5 or so of these hell-bent, demon-possessed spawn of Satan bears, I knew I should have read the comments before taking these off my friends' hands. It all started with a low rumble, like distant thunder. My intestines began to move inside of me, like snakes after eating cherry bombs. What does that even mean? My soul itself seemed to be working its way through my bowels. By then, I knew I had to get out of that tree stand, but by then, I knew it was too late. I made a break for it, just as the sun began to rise. I ran like a madman, in a way that I can only describe as a pregnant ostrich Sasquatch woman. I'd only made it a few yards, when Lucifer himself shot out of me like a potato tied to a ceiling fan. I crumpled to the ground. I stayed in that spot for what felt like hours. My life flashed before my eyes, and I relived the time I caught my first bass. I prayed to God to kick a satellite from the sky to crush me, but my cries for mercy were covered by the explosion of Satan still coming out of my body. The stuff coming out of me would have caught fire if you'd struck a match anywhere near it. As I sat with my tormented thoughts, I saw the biggest buck I have ever seen in my life. A flippin' perfect shot. After what felt like an eternity, I managed to waddle back to my brand new truck, where I had no other clothes or anything to clean myself with. I have gone through an eternity of air fresheners, and nothing has worked. Whenever someone has to drive with me and ask what happened to my truck, I tell them a really long story about how I helped deliver a calf in the middle of the night. This next one is brought to you by T-Bird, and it is called They Really Are Delicious. But here I sit, just melting away. The truth be told to you to this day, received as a gift from the bro I now hate. Heard the rumors, had to test my fate. So try these I did, just like a drone. Ate too many. Now, on the throne. Delicious and tasty, I will admit, but the devil is inside. Each every bit. What was I thinking? I have to ask. Extinguishing the flames, my only task. I pray to all in heaven so high, make it stop before I die. The explosions to follow for all to hear will make one shudder and tremble in fear. I warn you this, which comes from the heart. Caution after eating. And don't trust a fart. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your bravery. Our next piece comes from Jeremy. Fuck, it's Derek. Our next piece comes from Derek, and it is called The Horror at 20,000 Feet. During my work trip, I stopped at a convenience store and saw these gummy bears and thought they'd be perfect as a gift for my son Charlie. He loves gummy bears. And gummy worms. So, the morning I was to head back to LA, I slept through my alarm. I never do that. After speeding and filling up the gas of the rental, I made it to my gate as they were boarding. Get on the plane and head down the aisle to find my window seat near the middle of the plane. I asked politely for the 2 adorable older ladies sitting in the middle and the aisle seats if I could pass by to get to my seat. Get the fuck up. I thanked them as I settled down into my seat. Fast forward 20 minutes. As we reach our cruising altitude of around 30,000 feet in the air, I reach into my carry-on bag to grab my headphones. I see the gummy bears. Since I am hungry and need something, I decide to open them up and just have a few to hold me over until we land. I wanted to save some for my son, so I had maybe 4 or 5.
None left for baby. All for big daddy. Not sure what's more disgusting. What I just said? Or these actual gummy bears. How does anyone eat these?
But I had 4 or 5 too many because once the bears had a few minutes to adjust to their new home, they began to work. It started out with little cramp, which is normal when gassing on a plane. You're not allowed to fart on a plane, so you hold it in. It is airplane etiquette, which I was not aware of. Ooh. Then it got worse. The cramps intensified, the sweating started, and I began to notice the older ladies looking at me. About 30 minutes into eating these bears, my thinking went from, oh, these are just farts, I can hold them in, to, oh dear God, not here. I've been a Christian my whole life, and this is the test. After waiting for the intense cramp wave to pass, I stood up and jumped over the 2 women. After 5 minutes of stop and go, I made it to the bathroom and was pulling my pants down as I entered the bathroom. I thought I died. I thought this was it. Even though I was on the throne confessing my sins, I thought my time was called. I lost count on how many knocks at the door there was. Oh no. I must have been in there for 45 minutes, but I made it. I washed my hands and threw water in my face to calm down. Okay. Opening the door, I saw the faces looking back at me. Oh God. Apparently, the seal to the bathroom was not airtight. These were daughters, mothers, and children looking at me. I could feel their questions and comments. What have you done? We still have 2 hours left. Please divert this plane. As I began walking down, the man in the first row of seats grabbed my arm. He said, hey man, where's your seat? Confused, I told him, and he said, go and get your stuff and come and sit here. You need this more than me. I was embarrassed and ashamed. I had a family at home waiting for me. I recommend these bears to anyone, but please eat them responsibly. I don't know what any of that was. I'm just like really bored and I didn't want to do a werewolf video, so. What an excellent night of stories you guys have been subjected to. Let it show on record, I tried to buy these gummy bears and that you no longer can. And I didn't try too hard. I don't think I want to shit myself too badly. If you made it to this point in the video, that means that we are acquaintances. So you may as well like this video to become friends, and you may as well subscribe to become best friends. My comment of the week goes to Valeria Gomez. I really hope I said your name right. I am really sorry if I didn't. The growls are just on point. Also, Sienna has been on her period, I feel, for years. For literal eons. When is that bitch not on her period? Sienna, that's a medical condition. Go get help. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I did. I recommend buying these gummy bears and shitting yourselves just to see what happens. Send me the proof. Don't actually do that. YMCA. Ya later. That made no sense. Bye!